Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. Air, prana, chi. And for me on my journey, I'm realizing the importance of breathing spaces, being in the right air, clean air, healthy air, making sure you're breathing in from your stomach. That's what babies do. And a lot of the time, so many of us, we're shallow breathing in from our chest. Air is the primordial life force on this planet. Without air, you can't survive. And you can survive on water for maybe a week or whatever, or however long it is. How long can you survive without air? Maximum maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And it just shows me how air, being in an environment of clean air, is so significant. Especially on my journey, I'm realizing, especially if you're living in a city where there's just so much pollution from cars, people are smoking in front of you, leaving the smoke in the air and you're breathing in, and also just people's own energy is all impacting you, absorbing it into your own being. So for me, I just realize a lot of the times I just go to open spaces, parks, beautiful parks here, and the secret garden, I go there as well sometimes. And just being in a clean air environment can really nourish your cells, because at the end of the day, when I realized that oxygen in cells is what keeps people healthy. When you begin to lose oxygen from your cells, that's what we call dis-ease. And that's essentially what cancer is, when oxygen is depleted from the cells of your body. So therefore, it's paramount that people have enough oxygen in their cells. And that's why even when you're eating food, you have to make sure that a lot of the foods we're eating are phytonutrients, phyto meaning plant, therefore having enough oxygen. And a lot of the foods that we eat, if they're robbing your oxygen, a lot of acidic foods, they're actually taking away your oxygen. That's why people are eating so much and they feel so tired afterwards. They need to go rest, go sit down, go and sleep. And for me, I'm just realizing, breathing in that fresh prana, a lot of the times you have to make sure that you realize that you are responsible. That's what I had to say to myself. I can't just blame people for smoking. People are always going to smoke. People are going to do whatever they want because people have free will. But at the same time, we have the power to say where we want to live. A lot of people who are living in these busy environments, they say, oh, it's too many people here. But at the same time, you chose to be there. Maybe not. Maybe you have to work. Maybe your children are there, so you have to be there. But at the same time, people that are living on an island and a beach, that's because they are taking the action. And they are living somewhere which resonates with them. They're living somewhere where the resonance is there. And that's, for me, that's what I'm realizing. Sometimes we need an environment which complements our own energetic vibration. And air not only helps the mind, it also improves our own cardiovascular activity within the body. It gives us a sense of well-being. And for me, that's sometimes living in this crazy world. And a lot of the times, sometimes you just need to breathe, because it can get, even just the information age or the age of the water bearers, which we're in now, this global awakening, even sometimes the information, I always tell people, take one step at a time. Because now a lot of people are really going cuckoo. They're going, and it's becoming too much for them. And because of that, they're not able and allowed to breathe. They're not freeing themselves just to say, okay, let's keep it simple. Let me take one step at a time. Trusting and knowing that we are the living book. And for me, that's what I realize, and that helps me to breathe easy. But a lot of the times we can't be in fear. Fear is the one thing that will drain your energy quicker than you can say hello. And when we talk of vampires, energetic vampires, that's how a lot of vampires do. They steal your oxygen from you. They take your breath away. And when people talk of even relationships, some people say you can also have love vampires. Some people, if you're in a relationship, and relationship should always be reciprocal. If there's not a 50-50 on the scales, then something is going wrong. But at the same time, you also have, they say lovers are the worst thieves because they steal hearts. But in essence, true relationships are about giving your heart and sharing your both hearts so they become one. So nobody is taking from each other. But when we just talk about getting into the right environment, the right breathing space, realizing that a lot of music is also corresponds to our body, to our breathing. And therefore you realize that you can actually use music to stimulate energy within yourself, dormant energy. And also in turn, this will actually help you create more oxygen within your blood cells. This would actually give you a more balanced mindset. And a lot of, you can even have certain music, even classical music, which has been known from research to lower blood pressure. When your blood pressure is, everything has to be in balance, but essentially when you're not so high all the time, you can breathe in more deeply. And all of this. Certain music you listen to can actually take your breath away, and they can actually induce you. They can actually make you tiresome. Certain frequencies, sound frequencies, and sound manipulation has always been used to keep humanity in a low vibration. So it's up to us to elevate and change that. Aromatherapy is one of the most ancient art forms and hidden sciences, and that's why a lot of us, when we look at the odor of someone, the aroma, are we in resonance with that smell or not? And everything has a different smell, but incense is always, we've known that from eons ago, that every plant has a different fragrance, every flower has a different scent. Therefore, we have to always realize that we can actually find smells which can actually help us even alleviate certain conditions within ourselves. And some people use lavender, some people, all of these herbs around us, and they're there. The scent of a rose can often create this feeling of wonder in people. Smells don't always have to be visible. And a lot of the times when we look at even certain people, they have this thing about them which is just there, and they haven't even opened their mouths, or they haven't said anything, they haven't even had an action. It's just that we sense that this person, their aroma, something smells fishy, something smells off, almost like bad fish left out for 2 days in the sun. And a lot of the times when you see these kinds of people, you run away. It's also kinds of, on my journey, I'm just realizing, even when you use your body, like whether it's yoga or whatever you're doing, but when you're moving your body, you're unblocking your body. A lot of people, they always say a headache is a cloud above your head. And therefore, a lot of us, we're getting into blocks, mental blocks. And because of this, a lot of people are not breathing. Therefore, they are not having that heightened state of wellness. So a lot of the times we have to look at everything in a holistic way and essentially realize, first and foremost, that air is the primordial of what everything is made up of in this dimension, in terms of, for this 3D dimension anyway, because we can go on and on and on. So that's it. Breathe in, easy, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Gosh, it's hot out here. We're not complaining, we're enjoying it all the way. Don't forget to breathe. Open that mouth, open your nose. And that's another thing, a lot of people, they don't use they keep their mouth open. And I realize that sometimes when you close your mouth, you can breathe in through your nose, get more energy. Infinite waters, diving deep. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace.